Okay, here's the deal. I checked this game out at the library because a top 10 list on some website declared Family Party 30 Great Games Obstacle Arcade to be the worst Wii U game ever made. I was hoping for this epically bad Action 52 level heap of shit with a marathon review of the 30 games, only to find out the much-touted 30 games are all painfully simplistic 90-second minigames, and the entire game is pretty much devoid of any and all substance. This thing aspires to be a ripoff of Mario Party, that's the type of minigames that we're dealing with here, and the game has almost zero content. By the time I realized this piece of shit wasn't interesting enough to waste your time with, I'd sunk too much time into it to walk away empty-handed. So I'm gonna plow through this pig shit as quickly as I can, and we will never speak of this travesty again. Oh, right, I forgot. Terrors of the Library. The game is completely unplayable if you don't own any Wii remotes, which don't come packaged with the Wii U. And when I say the game is unplayable, I mean the game will not let you out of the main menu without at least one Wii remote hooked up. You also can't access over half of the game's content unless you own a nunchuck, a second strictly optional accessory that is also not packaged with the Wii U. See, 20 of the games are locked until you beat modes that require the nunchuck. I shit you not, there is no in-game way to get out of this connect a nunchuck screen without, well, connecting a nunchuck. The game has 10 mini-games that use the Wii U Gamepad and 25 games that exclusively utilize the Wii remotes, and those of you who are good at basic math may have noticed that 10 plus 25 does not, in fact, equal 30! So why are there 35 games in Family Party 30 Great Games Obstacle? That title sucks! And question 2, which 5 games got excluded from that tally? Which 5 did they look at and say, yeah, we'll get sued if we call these great? There are 2 gameplay modes, Challenge and Free Play. Free Play is a pretty basic pick some games and then play them party mode that, again, comes with a paltry number of games unlocked. To unlock the remaining games, you have to play the Challenge mode, where you play a predetermined set of 5 Wii games with 5 randomly selected Gamepad games in between. Each player gets a seemingly arbitrary score from every minigame, and the player with the most points at the end of the games wins. Each Challenge mode has a clear score that one of the players has to beat to complete the Challenge mode and unlock new characters and minigames. So to unlock most of the content in this multiplayer party game, you have to play extensively by yourself. But here's the part that sucks. Despite winning every challenge mode multiple times, there were still 10 minigames and 2 challenge modes that just refused to unlock no matter what I did. The game doesn't actually tell you how to unlock the remaining games. I eventually figured out that the game doesn't mark a challenge mode complete unless you get a much higher score than the clear score that is listed on the screen. You actually have to beat a completion score, which isn't listed anywhere. The completion score is so high that if you want to actually complete a challenge mode and actually unlock the rest of the games, then you have to win all 10 minigames in every single one of the challenge modes. Lose 1 game across any of the courses, and you don't get dick. But this wouldn't be such a problem if most of the games weren't broken and barely functional. It took me hours of playing the same tiny handful of shitty minigames, losing 1 game with awful controls or stupid arbitrary rules due to dumb luck, and having to start each challenge mode over multiple times just to unlock the rest of the paltry number of minigames. The biggest problem is that completing a challenge mode means playing 5 Gamepad games that are chosen at random, and one of the Gamepad games is virtually impossible to win. So you can be on a perfect run through a challenge mode on the cusp of finally unlocking some new games, and then Balance Bridge shows up, your run goes down the shitter, and your remote goes sailing through the nearest wall, accompanied by a mighty cry of "No!" Each Gamepad game pits a single player against the other 3 using Wii remotes, and most of these games are horrendously unbalanced in the Gamepad's favor. The Gamepad goes to whoever won the previous game, so often these games just give the guy who just won an even bigger lead. You don't get any instructions before starting up a game, and 9 times out of 10, the game's controls are such unintuitive ass-backwards moon logic bullshit that you will never figure out how the game works. So you have to tediously push plus to pull up a paragraph of vague directions, press plus again to bring up a vague controls explanation, press plus again to bring up a stupid menu, and then you can start the game. If you don't go through all of that at the start of every single minigame, you will just flail around trying to get any response out of the game and lose. The graphics suck, the character models are generic as hell, there are tons of missing animations, and the voices are all annoying as piss. They have a mascot that's this dumb, smug-looking, too cool for school bear in a sports jacket, and he never shuts the hell up!
Johan! Awesome play! Johan! You can do it! Oh!
name is not Johan! Shut your dumb face! My favorite part about this bear is that they couldn't be bothered to record him saying any of the names of the minigames, so whenever a game starts up, he says...
Next up, this game.
Next up is, this game. But the main thing that sinks the game, especially if you're playing it alone, which you have to, is that the AI is dumb as soup and it doesn't have any difficulty settings. The computer players hopelessly suck at all but a very few select games. Half the games the AI stands there picking its nose, completely ignoring the objectives, and any game with actual problem solving just has the AI wandering in circles trying to figure out what to do. You'll only lose if a game is so broken that it's nigh unplayable, which would be most of them. Either the game will completely misread your motions, the game will have a huge lag to where the game is damn near unresponsive, the controls are just so cumbersome they ruin the game experience, or even if the game works, it'll be so dirt simple that it's not any fun. And I'd like to reiterate what I said earlier, you lose a single barely functional game in a challenge mode, and you don't get squat. The entire game is just miserable, and there's barely even a game here. So I guess all that there is to talk about is the minigames themselves.
Whew, 35 shitty games. Let's do this.
Flying teacups. You shake the remote to charge a jump and then jump to get coins. The jump takes forever to go up and forever to go down, so there's almost no skill or strategy involved. Fantasy stick. You use stupidly over-convoluted controls involving a control stick and holding the Z button to shoot at ghosts because I guess just using a freaking pointer to aim and shoot made too much sense. And the ghosts spontaneously disappear with no animation when you kill them, so it's hard to tell if anything even happened. Number balloons. You shoot the balloon with the correct number. If you miss the number at the start of the round, the game doesn't tell it to you again. Also, direct clone of Toad's Quick Draw from Mario Party 4. Boat race. You swing the remote and nunchuck in a circle to row a canoe. The boats all have a very low top speed that's easy to maintain, so it's less about skill and more about hoping against hope that the controls don't hang up on you and let someone else pass you. Plus, the cord between the remotes keeps whapping against my nipples. I'm not even trying to be funny about that. It sucks!
The cord keeps whipping me in the tits.
Cloud jumper. You shake the Wii remote left, right, or straight up to jump between clouds. Now, which direction you actually move when you shake the remote seems to be completely random, because the game can't read your input for shit, and it often sends me in the complete opposite direction as I try to move. Is that Princess Peach's castle in the background? Is Toadsworth going to come out and yell at these weirdos to get off their lawn? Chancy Crane. You pick up and roll 3 dice. That's it. They were so bankrupt for ideas, they resorted to rolling dice. They sold an electronic video game on a cutting-edge console so you could roll dice. Sparkball. You navigate a maze with a slow-ass pointer. You only get points for picking up treasure chests. Only 4 of 5 treasure chests pop up in the entire game, and they all spawn on branching paths to where it's blind frickin' luck if you actually get any of them, because either you picked a path with treasure on it, or you're cheated out of points. Nothing you can do about it. Suck it up. Block race. You shake the remote to jump right and the nunchuck to jump left on disappearing platforms. It works, but it's barely a game. Air hockey. You use the pointer to knock hockey pucks around. The controls are annoying, you have to hold B the whole time, the goals are so small it's damn near impossible to score, and the balls ricochet so much that the game is mostly luck. Magical panels. You walk across panels to turn them all the same color. It's a simple but fun puzzle game that the AI cannot solve to save its life. Rodeo. 2 buttons appear on screen. You press them, and by hand to God, the game has trouble reading your button presses, and at least 3 times per game it will reject correct input. How do you screw that up? Obstacle overrun. You run through a course pressing B to smash walls and pressing A to jump. There's at least a full 1 second delay to both buttons that makes the game unplayable. Again, how do you screw that up? Dot image. The game flashes a series of targets and the players have to shoot the targets when they're covered up. It's kind of fun, but god damn, the computer just sits there and doesn't even try to shoot the targets. Lightning order. You shake the remote to shoot ketchup and the nunchuck to shoot mustard when the bear bastard calls it out, and the game can barely register when you shake the nunchuck. Horse jump. You shake the remote to move and press 2 to jump hurdles. Thank God it works, but there's so little to this game that it doesn't even register as being a game.
It's doing pretty well. Marie, awesome play. James, it's doing pretty well.
Carpet climbing. You shake the Wii remote to jump up moving platforms. The controls keep locking up so that I can't jump, and you fly up and fall down so damn slowly that it takes a ton of trial and error to figure out how to make the jump. And go figure, this is the one game the AI can play worth a shit, and it'll leave you in the dust while your wee human brain tries to figure out how gravity works. But that's not the worst part. About a quarter of the time, you fall through the fucking carpets! At complete random, you just pass right through the solid platform and die! Fuck this game! Fuck it! Fuck it! Ancient construction. You push buildings onto designated spaces and get bonus points if it lands right side up. The controls have you tilt the remote to move, and the game treats your motions like vague suggestions. The controls just do whatever the hell they want. If they knew that their motion detection was shit, why didn't they just use the damn control pad? Magic Spotlight. All 4 players struggle to stay in a light on the floor. It controls fine, but of course having a game that works is too much to ask. You can shove enemies around, and the shove has a huge lag to it and is horrendous hit detection, so it never works. Magic Carpet. You fly a magic carpet through an obstacle course. Miraculously, this game works correctly and is actually kind of fun, even if the controls are a little stiff. Holy shit, they did something right! Fireworks. You point at fireworks to explode them. The game works, but you can track the fireworks before they explode, so playing with humans, everyone's just going to mash A and the winner will be dumb luck. Skydiving 2. You tilt the Wiimote to fall through rings. The game works, but it's so damn easy that any human players will just tie each other every round. And why is it Skydiving 2? William Tell. You charge and fire arrows with the Wiimote's pointer. This game works. There really wasn't much to screw up, to be fair. It's just annoying that your arrow doesn't hit jack without a full charge. Slip Drop. The players all race down a hill and try to stop as close to the bottom as possible without falling off the cliff, and this game is fucking unplayable! The camera only zooms in to show the players that are in first place. Half the players will never be able to see what the fuck they're doing. You have no idea where the bottom of the hill is, and you don't come to an instant stop, so you will never know when to hit the brakes. Also, players can stun each other by crashing into one another, and you recover from the stun by wagging the Wii remote, but you also wag the Wii remote to come to a slow stop. So you get hit, you fall off screen, and then you have no idea when you need to stop waggling or if you're still stunned. Either you waggle too much and stop early for no points, or you don't realize that you're still stunned until your helpless character comes zooming past the camera and falls to its death. Why the hell is there a slow stop option where you can press Q for a quick stop? Why in God's name would I ever use the slow stop? Nothing in this miserable shitty-ass game works! Jigsaw Twist. You rotate pieces of a puzzle to complete the picture. It's a decent game, apart from the game completely missing about a quarter of your button presses. Dino Panic. You shake the Wii remote in the direction commanded to dodge an alligator, which makes me wonder why this game is called Dino Panic. It works, it's just not fun. And now we're to the 10 Gamepad games, and it's difficult to tell how balanced these games are because the AI sucks at all of them. All except for the first one. Balance Bridge, the bane of my existence! The gamepad player walks to the end of a tilting bridge while the other players shoot cannons at them. This game is impossible for the gamepad player to win. The remote players get a shit ton of points for landing cannon hits, which the gamepad player is completely powerless to dodge, so the gamepad player can make it to the end on their first try and still lose. This game appears all the damn time in the challenge mode, and when it appears, the game just laughs in your face. Fuck you! You unlock nothing! Better luck next time, douchebag! Penalty kick. The gamepad player kicks soccer balls at a goal which the other players try to block. The perspective has zero depth perception, and the controls are stiff as wood, so the remote players have zero chance of winning. Hide the Joker. The gamepad player shuffles jokers around and gets points when the remote players flip them over. Half the cards are jokers, and the way the game keeps score, the gamepad player is pretty much guaranteed to win without humans on the remote team. Earth Defense Team. The remote players huck asteroids at a city, the gamepad player blows up the asteroids. The city has so much health that the gamepad player has to fall asleep to lose. Cowboy Barrel Dodge. The remote players huck barrels at the gamepad player who tries to grab coins. If a single remote player is human, the barrels just come in a steady stream, and this game is rendered nigh unwinnable for the gamepad player. Ghost Flashlight. The gamepad player shines a light to kill the remote player's ghosts. The ghosts are stuck at a pitiful movement speed, so the gamepad player is guaranteed to win. Zero Gravity. The gamepad player flies a UFO grabbing stars while the remote players huck asteroids at the UFO. The UFO can knock the other players around with ease, so the remote players are totally boned. Yeah, you sit down, bitch, you're not going anywhere. Roll them up. The remote players grab coins while the gamepad player rolls them over with a giant ball. The gamepad player can barely turn, and the remote players have to constantly shake the remote to move for no damn reason, so both rolls control like ass. It's so easy for the gamepad player to score that the remote players are totally screwed. Quicksand. The Wiimote players try to grab treasure chests around a whirlpool, which the gamepad player controls by drawing a circle. It's easy as piss to keep the vortex at full strength the whole game, and the Wiimote players get steamrolled. Skydiving. Oh, there's the other skydiving game. The gamepad player falls through hoops while the remote players try to shoot at them, but the remote player's aiming is so ridiculously complicated between needing to zoom in and charge every shot for over 5 seconds that good luck ever landing a hit. Oh man, that sucked! Family Party 30 Great Games Obstacle Arcade has no reason to exist. The Wii U came packaged with Nintendo Land, and I think every Wii U owner has Super Smash Bros., and those are both way better party games than this pile of non-functional poodoo. It's not even good to review. At least Wipeout was funny. At least Minute to Win It was so inconceivably non-functional that you could muster some real rage at it. This just sucks ass, and good day to you, sir. Thank God that I'm done with this shit!